Hello everyone and welcome to a new episode of Startup Zone Talk. Today I'm here with amazing guest. I'm here with Kim. She's the co-founder and CEO of PichaEats, and she is also Forbes 30 Under 30 Asia 2018. Welcome to our show, Kim.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, maybe we can start with your background. Like, where did you grow up? Like, if I was your classmate in school, what type of classmate you will be?
Okay, I grew up in KL, like just homebred Malaysian.
Okay.
And I used to be a very hardworking student,
Okay.
and I became a very lazy student. And I fall into a very classes behind.
Okay.
And,
when that change started?
During secondary school.
Secondary school.
Yeah, but it has not stopped me from doing what I like. I just probably found another passion. That's all. Yeah.
I think, if I'm not mistaken, you studied in music, right?
Yeah. I studied music during my university years.
Okay. Okay. So, and then you started PichaEats,
Yes.
which used to be called Picha
The
Project.
Picha Project. Yes.
Okay. So Picha Project is catering, am I right in that?
Yes.
And you studied music. Why you didn't pursue, let's say, your music passion, or did you have passion for music?
I had passion for music and I had dreams for music, but we saw the need that is needed and we found a solution, so we just went on to it, and today we are leading a team to rebuild lives for other people, so I just continue doing that.
Okay, very cool. Then let's talk about PichaEats. So what is the story of PichaEats?
Basically, PichaEats is a food business that
Okay.
we do catering, mini buffets, mailbox deliveries, except food made by refugees in Malaysia. So we have partnered with refugees from Palestine, Syria, Pakistan, or Myanmar, Afghanistan, to basically make them showcase their culinary skills and prepare food from home. And then we deal with all the logistics and operations to deliver the food to customers. So this is the whole Picha concept, basically trying to assist refugees to find opportunity to rebuild their lives.
Yeah, that's I think very great cause and very great business. But maybe if you tell me how the idea came, let's say, did you have a co-founders with you working on this? Maybe you tell me a bit about that.
Yeah, I have two other co-founders with me. Their names are Suzanne and Suilin. So three of us were studying in university, and we were volunteering in the Refugee Learning Center about 6 years ago. And then we find out a lot of kids were dropping out of school. So we thought, what can we do to help them? We were running charity events, like fundraising charity events, and we realized that it's not very sustainable because we raise money, depletes, and then we raised it again. And it's not very, our energy keeps going off year by year. So we thought, okay, we have to do something sustainable. So we thought, okay, let's do business. So what can we sell? And then we saw that they can actually cook. Then why not we sell the food that they make? And that's where it all started. So we sold our first sales during our university days, and that's where we started doing more and more, and then let the profit roll, and today is where it is.
How many years now in this year?
We're at our fourth year.
Fourth year. Okay. Wow, that's great. Total co-founders are three, right?
Three of us.
Okay, and what is the size of your team?
Right now we're around 10 full-timers with around 10 to 15 part-timers doing logistics, a bit of partnerships here and there, and partnering with 12 families or chefs that are cooking in their homes.
Okay, cool. So your company is under social entrepreneurship.
Yes.
Why social entrepreneurship? Why you didn't go like for projects or for companies that focus only on making money?
Well, we started doing business just because we wanted to be sustainable and be able to do good at the same time. We have not wanted to start a business because we wanted to make profit at the first place. So myself.
Do you think that's a bad thing
No,
to make money?
it's not a bad thing at all. In fact, social entrepreneurship encourages us to make money as well, especially profit. I think there is a misconception about what social entrepreneurship is in Malaysia. Everyone thinks it's a charity, but it's not a charity. It's just a normal business that is driven by a social cause with a different business model. And the reason why we chose them at the first place was because it could sustain us for a very long time if we fix the right business model. Therefore, we continue to use social entrepreneurship to spread to people, encourage people to do social to pursue on a social entrepreneurship journey. I think businesses that does good and contribute to the sustainable future are all businesses that inspires us. So there's no right or wrong to us.
I agree with you. Did you raise any fund, or is it like self-funded?
So when we started, we are self-funded. So we basically started with a capital of probably 30 ringgit. Basically just getting customers to purchase from us. So we get the money in first before we deliver the product. So that's where our profit started rolling. And then after that, we went to an accelerator program. We got a grant, so that's where we could scale up a bit on our ideas. And then we got some competition prizes just these 2 years going overseas to pitch in competitions. And then we were profitable since we started, but now because we're expanding the team, so we're kind of putting back our profits into expanding the business right now.
That's understandable, especially when you scale up. There's a lot of cost. So are you looking to raise funds?
Currently, we're
because
not,
I understand you go for competition, you go for grants, but are you going for like real investment money?
We're not really going for that yet because we realize that we can still use our resources to grow. So we want to see how far can we do that.
Actually, what you say, very few people say what you said, and I agree with you, because in my opinion, I think many people now think you have to start a startup and then look for funding.
Exactly.
They keep focusing on how to raise funds, how to convince investors, and they go to so many like accelerator program or VCs, and they forget the most important thing in business, which is sales,
to make money.
Because sales cure it all.
Yes.
And one time I was asked to, in my company, I was asked to go for a pitching, and I pitched. Everybody was asking for money, and like I want this amount. I want, and when in my turn, I pitch my business. Then I never say how much I want. And then the judges or whoever was there, the investors, they asked me, "You never mentioned to us how much you are looking for." I told them I'm not desperate for investment. I'm pitching you my business. If you want to be my customer, if you want to be investor in my company, well, I'm looking for a good fit investor.
Of course.
But many people get blinded. They just want the money, and they don't realize they're creating another problem. Because when you have investor, he become like your new boss. You're giving control of your company. And not all businesses, I believe, is they are the right, like they should grow and become IPO. For example, social entrepreneurship. If you told me now that you're looking for investment, I will be a bit disappointed, because to be honest with you, no investor I think will invest in social entrepreneurship because they're looking for money. You have cause, you have vision. There will be some conflict. Later.
We're really looking for, like you say, the right fit. Yes.
Okay, awesome. Okay, let me see. Okay, what challenges do you face on daily basis?
Every day is a challenge in different ways. Like sometimes like operational challenge, sometimes it's growing the team challenge, sometimes it's the families that we are working with, they give those challenges. So every day varies, but when we started, it was more of a business challenge because we have no business background, and then after honing those skills a bit, then it's probably like the family challenges where we have to work with different families from different nationalities, and then understanding their culture, their culinary skills, working with some of their attitudes and things,
and how it can fit the local taste,
exactly,
right?
yes, exactly. And then after that, it comes to the operational challenge where we have to work with different logistics company or manage our own logistics, and logistics has been
Did you ever
challenge.
come to a moment where you said, you know what, I'm giving up, it's over, you know, you were under so much stress? Have you ever went to that dark moment?
Me and my co-founders at some point, yes, maybe, yes, it's definitely.
Then how you overcome that?
I think what I feel very lucky of is having my co-founders with me. I think I realized that there are a lot of entrepreneurs who are solo. I don't know how they make it.
I'm a solo.
So we realized it is very tough.
It's very tough.
Yes, and having two co-founders with me has been a very, very fortunate event for me. The reason why is sometimes they break down and I support them. Sometimes I break down, they support me. So yeah, I think having co-founders are really important.
Yeah, true. Okay, since you mentioned now the refugees and this, I read on one of your LinkedIn posts that someone, one of your clients told you they won't do business. If I got it right, because I was reading quickly, if they won't do business with you because you're not supporting the locals or the locals with low income, and you supporting refugees, and they say like since Malaysia opened the floodgate for refugees, like things is not good for locals. What your comment on that, or what did you tell your team?
I told my team that it's okay for people to have their own opinions, because that's why what we do is very important, because we have to let more people to know why refugees are really here, and also let them know that why we have to exist at the first place, and how basically we're serving humanity, and if we could educate some people to change their perception, then I guess we're doing a great job. I don't have any hate emotions towards those such comment, and I totally understand why people have such thinking. It's also because of our news, because of how we spread words in our media, and so I don't have any hate emotions into this thing.
Because when I read it, I was furious, you know. Because I'm from Syria.
Yes, okay.
I'm not a refugee.
Yes.
I came here 14 years ago. I was student. I work here. I start my company.
Okay.
So it's like this. But part of my family actually, and even me actually, I'm not a refugee on paper, but technically I can't go back home. So,
I understand.
So according to the United Nations, I'm actually a refugee because I can't go back home. I have no choice. And what made me furious, you know, well, first the sentence which stabbed me with a knife in the heart, when they say Malaysia opened the floodgate for refugees. I'm sorry, but Malaysia never opened the floodgate for refugees. Malaysia even never signed the agreement. They don't even recognize refugees in the first place. So I was so furious. How dare you say like Malaysia open? If you tell me Pakistan, if you tell me Bangladesh, Germany, Turkey, Lebanon, all these countries take millions of refugees.
Yes, exactly.
Malaysia took like for Syrians, I think the government made a plan to take 3,000, and I don't know what happened to that 3,000.
Yes, me
they
too.
never discuss it. And don't forget, they don't allow refugees to work in the first place. So something like what you do is actually very important. It's a lifeline to those refugees, because if those refugees, you don't allow them to go to public school, you don't allow them to work, you're closing all the doors around them. And so what are you pushing them for actually?
I understand. We do have a lot of work to work on. As I spoken to some government agencies, there are a lot of things to consider as well, which I totally understand why they do not sign the Refugee Convention.
Because of something like this, have you ever think of moving some of your workforce or all your workforce to locals and forget the refugees?
No, I have never thought of that because, like I said, our work is very, very important. Yes, I agree that the government has not been doing, probably has not been able to facilitate all these things, but it doesn't mean that we citizens cannot do all these things. I think we have the responsibility to serve humanity. Even we're not Syrian, even if we're not Palestinians, and
any human needs help.
Any human.
To me, whether it's local, foreigner.
Yeah, exactly.
We help anybody.
And we stay true, and we believe in the cause that we're fighting for. And so we have never thought about that, but we have thought of integrating instead. So having locals to be part of the workforce, having refugees to be part of the workforce.
Because I think definitely you need the locals. Let's say in the logistics, in many parts of your operation. But what makes you unique? You have the refugee cuisines, which actually is different from the locals. Because if you want the local cuisine, there's so many catering and food. Doing that.
What
but
makes you stand out? So
that's your strength point. If you give it up, I think it's difficult to stand out.
And that's what we wanted to show, right? Like refugees also can contribute and have a very unique standpoint in contributing to our economy and integrated into our society.
Exactly, because if they recognize them and they allowed to work, they can tax them actually.
Exactly.
So it's good for the economy.
Exactly.
Okay, before we end up, is there any lesson you have learned through your journey, or is there any story you would like to share with us?
If I would want to share a story, I would share a story about a man who's from Syria, where you come from, who has actually changed the face of how people perceive refugee, because the moment that he was partnering with us, that he was cooking from his home, he has shown us so much diligence and resilience, and how we should perceive humanity. He comes from Syria with his two other family members. His name is Zaza, and came all the way to Malaysia, but he was basically scammed because he paid them money, but there was no accommodation arranged for him, and he did not know that he couldn't work here. And then when he arrived as a professional chef from Saudi Arabia, he couldn't showcase his culinary skills because language was a barrier for him. He doesn't speak English. Transportation was an issue for him because it would basically eat up his profit every time he delivers the food. And but he still survived for around 2 years, and we met him in 2016 when we started off. He was like the third family that we onboard with Picha. And then the moment that we onboarded him, he showed us like a different side of what a refugee is. Like we always think that refugees come to Malaysia to steal our jobs, to spread diseases, or create social problems. But he basically showed us that he can actually contribute and be part of a very healthy ecosystem. And so he basically deliver his food with all his love and put in all his professionalism into his cooking, and a lot of clients love him, a lot of customers love him, even though they have never met him. We always put the story on the boxes that he delivers, and people would appreciate those stories and understand him better. And he always, when he prepares food, he always prepares extra for the cleaners, for the security guards, and we realize that he is a refugee, but he has a bigger heart than any of us. 2 years ago, he passed away because of cancer. He passed away in Malaysia, and but he still remains in our heart because he has shown us not just resilience and diligence. He also shown us kindness, gratitude. And so I remember one time, there are two incidents that showed me this. One time was when he was doing an open house experience, was supposed to be for around 15 people, but he cooked like for 50 people, like for a village. And we asked him, why? We gave you this budget, you should just cook for this amount of people. And he said, I want to make Picha proud, I want to make you all proud. And we're like, why, where did this come from? And I know that it comes from a very deep rooted tradition and culture of Syrian. And after that, the second incident was when before he passed away, when he was bedridden, he said this, I want to cook chicken mandi for people that in need around the masjid area during the Ramadan month. And we look at this person who has lost his wealth twice and was bedridden still, and he could still think of other people. And we who are very much privileged, we could have done so much more. And why are we not doing the things that we are supposed to do for humanity? And so this is a very beautiful story of a man who has shown us kindness, and he has motivated us in PichaEats to continue to do what we do today.
Okay. Kim, thank you very much for
thank
the
you for
interview.
Having me.
And thank you very much for what you do also.
No problem.
Okay.
Thank you.
And our viewers, thank you very much for watching this episode, and we will see you in next episode with another amazing guest. Thank you. Bye.